Okay, so good evening, guys. I want to welcome you guys to today's design review, and I hope you guys enjoyed last week's review. Sorry, I was unable to get the recorded version of last week's review, but I promise I'm going to make today's review available. All right. So for those of you that don't know where to get the video after today's review, you can go to my YouTube channel to watch the recorded version of today's review. Okay, so let's see what our first design look like. Please post the first design for us to see so I can critique the design. All right, so this is our first design, and all right, then what now this looks similar. In fact, I believe this person copied the concept from one of my tutorial, but you miss some principles here, and the first thing is the way you play with the light effect on the face of your character. All right. Um, if you notice here, we have there's this light effect on this person's face, and we don't have it on this person's face, and we don't have it here. So this made it look like this guy here is the important person here. Why? Because the effect on his face is different from these two guys' face. So when you are, working on a design project, okay, you do stuff like this only on maybe if you are trying to pass a message, you are trying to say, okay, this person is different from these people. But as it is here now, I notice this person here is the host. All right, so I expect the host to have a light effect on his face, not the the guest. And then the font you use here is not okay for writing names. All right, don't always use script type to write names, because script types are always difficult to read when you make them small. They're only good when you make them the size of the title, like the way you have it here. All right, I don't know if I'm making sense. So it's only when you make them this big but that's what they are good for. Now there are some script fonts that you can use with small font size, but not the one with thick stroke, because when you use a thick stroke font to write name, if you zoom out, and that's one thing I want you guys to always do when you're working on a design project, when you make your text small, try and do this. All right, I believe it's because of the video I'm rendering, that's why my system is hanging. So I'm going to zoom out. So now you get my point. So now you see that I can hardly see the names of the the characters. Then if I zoom in again, you see there's another thing I notice on this artwork. Notice when I zoom out, we can hardly see even the address at the bottom here. The reason why it's like that is because the space between the letters are too close. So you need to avoid this. All right. You need to avoid this. And then the way you play with the date and time here is too small. It's too small. So what I would have advised you do is try to cut out. Yes. So I'm going to hit Ctrl J on my keyboard. So since we have this as the theme, which is our focal point, it's always good to have the date and time as our next, big, element. All right. Doing that will help the movement of the eye on our project. And when we are working on design project, controlling the eye movements is part of what always make our design project look successful. when we control the movement well, it makes the project look interesting. All right. So if I make this bigger, trying to increase the size, let's see if I do this. At least this should be this bold. All right. So when they see the title, the next thing that will catch people's attention is going to be this. And then please, this your grunge effect here is not okay. So please avoid this. All right. When you only do this when you are trying to do design related to youth, but you don't just use it when the theme, like the feel of the project, is not connecting to this. And that's why it looks as if the project is looking funny. So you need to avoid that. Okay. So I believe you guys get my point on this design. So let's go straight to the next design. All right, so this is our second design today, and so many things is affecting the beauty of this project. All right, so before I say why this design is not successful, I need you all to know that white space is one of the key elements that help the beauty of our project. When white space is lost, the project is going to look funny. Yes, I know most time, we always have this thinking in our head like, if I don't make the whole page full, people would think I didn't do anything. No, your job is not to make people feel like you didn't do anything, but to let them understand the message behind the project easily. So the reason why I said this is because of the way the designer, took everything together on this project. Uh, so if you look at, let's start with the upper parts. So the white space here is still okay. And if you notice, if you look at this project clearly, you realize that this place here, okay, let me just draw a box so you guys will see what I'm trying to say about white space. So if I cover this space now with, let's say, this white, you see that because I covered this space, or let me use the crop tool so you guys will get the work of white space. So if I do this, now you see that because we have this white space here, this space looks matured. It makes it look beautiful. Imagine if we now have the same white space on every part of the project. Imagine how beautiful it's going to look. So when you are working on design project, white space will be one of the things. In fact, if you don't use box or you don't use you don't use shapes on your project, make sure you use white space. White space is what designer don't we don't cover white space. We use it. So if you look at this side here, this banner here, this box, I mean banner, I'll call it banner here alone is affecting the beauty of this design. So you don't do it. It would have been nice if we had just text, just this text with another color, and the same color we use on the training impartation executive, then First Samuel. I mean, the same color used on the training impartation blah 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 should be the same color you're going to use here. And then, like I said previously, when you reduce the size of your letter, avoid closing the space between them. Making that is going to, putting the space together or closing the space will affect the visibility of your object. I mean, of your element. So avoid that, or your text. And then another thing I notice here again is that the space between this covernier and the name here is too close. When I say too close, all right, this is the type of space I'm talking about. So I'm going to hit Ctrl V and I'll push this down. At least the space should be like this. All right. And like I always say to my student that your job as a designer is not to add to your project, but to subtract. So anything that you notice that is not adding to the project, take it out. All right. Take it out. It's not going to affect the beauty of the project. And then the way you put the date here, it looks funny. All right. It looks funny. So what I'm just going to say to you is there's something called Unity in graphic design. Um, the information here, there's no unity. In fact, the unity here is something else. So why I say that is this: if you look at the way you put 24 July here, we have this line on top of it. We don't have it here. We don't have it here. So it looks as if 24 July is special than the other information here. So when you are working on design project, these are the things you need to consider. You need to check, okay, if I put this here, am I trying to say this is important? Or you say you only do this when you are trying to, convey an idea, or you're trying to pass a message to let people know that, okay, this information here is different from, every other information on my project. So imagine if this designer played with the date the right way. Let me show you what's going to happen. If I take out this date now, I want to show you guys the power of using white space. So I'm going to cut out the dates. All right, I'm going to cut it out so you guys will get my point. I would have loved to type it, but because of time, I'm not going to be able to do that. In fact, this guy here needs to go off. It's really, really causing confusion here. Okay, it needs to go off. So I'm going to do the same thing here. All right. Or you know what? Let's just type it, because what I'm about to do here now may not work. So I'm just going to quickly type it. So I have it typed now. So what I'm going to do is, since I already typed it, I'm just going to take away all this information from here. And like I said previously, this guy here is taken away from the message. So I'm just going to cover it with white. Or you know what, let's just type it also. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. So I'm going to fill it with white for now. Fill it with white. All right. Then this information here is just there. It's not doing anything because it's not visible. So I'm going to take it out. All right. Now remember, like I said, that the goal is not to, add, but to subtract. Okay. So now this image here is also taken away from the message, but because of time, I'm not going to type this. I'm just going to cut out this. All right. I'm going to cut this out and cut it out. So for the image, I'm going to just crop this like so. Because this is taking a lot of space here. Because now another thing I want you guys to know is, when you are working on design project like this, all right, you need to consider your frame. Your frame should determine the way you are going to scale the images on your project. All right. So you need to make sure that you are careful with the way you place image. This image is too big. All right. The space that is taking is too much. So I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to put the rider. Can I call it rider? Yeah, let's just call it rider. So I'm just going to put this here like so. I'm going to move this up. Let me put, okay, so this should be here. What's going on? So this should be, all right. Then I'm going to change this to, I can even use this color here. Or, yeah, let's just use this color here. All right. Now, the reason why these two colors is going to work together is because this color here has, shade of green. And if you check the color wheel, these two colors are the color opposite each other. All right. Please, if you can't see my screen, you need to update your Telegram, because every other people can see my screen. When you don't update your Telegram, you won't be able to see my screen. So quickly do that before the end of today's design review. So now I am going to scale. I'm going to hit the OK button, then I'm going to scale this. Now I want you guys to notice the difference. So this should be here, and just gonna add space, put sorry, slash onto space onto. All right, then this should be here. Then you can scale this down, and I'm going to add tracking to this, right? And this needs to be here like so. Okay, I'll move it up like so. All right, so for this name here, so what I'm going to just do is, let's see, I think I have there's something I caught from here. I'm trying to see if I'm not going to miss anything. Okay, so I have the artwork on my screen here, so I'm just going to be using one on my screen to work on this. So for this, which is the name, I'm going to just cut this out. Sorry, pardon me, guys. I'm using two different fonts for this. So the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to waste time looking for the font that the designer used on the project. So I have this cut out, and let's see if I right click, I select this, move this down, merge it together, and yeah, so I have this together now. And for the scripture, all right, what I would have advised you do with the scripture is you can, just put that somewhere around here. Remember I said previously that you should have made the scripture the same color with the rider. So the scripture can just be here, like so. Mm, just be here, or let's just make it black. And I'm going to close the tracking. Okay. And I'm going to put this like so. Adjust the leading. And this should be here. Just make this bigger a bit. Like so. All right. So for this, I'm going to move this out here. And I'll make sure that, okay, before I adjust that, let's just put the date. All right. Because I don't want us to waste time on this. So like I always say that, after the focal point, which is your date, which is your, the title, it's always good to make the dates and time the next, thing that the people see. So I'm going to move this up right here, and I'm going to teach you guys one other thing again. Now, if you look at the way the arrangement of the date is here, it looks as if September is longer than July. So these are part of the things that used to affect the look of our project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this the Sep. Then this is going to be, all right. So this um, is going to be, all right. Somebody needs to mute his mic. All right. I believe you guys can hear me, right? What's going on? All right. So I'm going to, so this is what I was trying to say the other time. If I make this big, then I'm going to, this here, this one, again, this again. Then this should be here, right? But this needs to be bigger so as to let people know that this is the first line. All right. I'm gonna make it 6. What's going on? So this can be here. This can be here, and then this can be here. Make it. You know what? Let's just take away those lines first. I think those lines are taken away from the message. So that's how it is. So you have to be checking which stop work and which one doesn't. So since this is taken away from me, because like I said, the project is already looking full. So I don't think we need the lines. All right. Putting the line is going to affect the look of the project. So for this, I'm going to just put this as that. And this is going to be capital J, right? Let's see if I make it one line. See what's going to look like. I'm trying to look for the best position for this. Let's see. Okay, no, for now, let me just keep it here for now. Let's see if I still have something else that did I cut this out? Yes, I did. So this can just be somewhere here. Then this can go up a bit, like so. And this can be here. Now, the reason why this may not look okay is because I'm trying to be fast with this, but I'm trying to be fast, but something is telling me to do it right. So let me just push this down. Now, push this here. This needs to go up a bit like so. And for the dates, I'm going to position that here. And for this, I'll move this down like so. Or better still, let's just put everything. Since I'm making it one line, so I'm just going to put this as J. This will be comma. It should go up. and I'm gonna push this out like so. All right, move this down like so. Okay, you can even position it here. And let's see if I move this up. No, no. So this can be here, down here. Mm, let's see if I move this here like so. And this can be here like so. Right? This can be here and so. And I'm gonna take out all these colors. All right, because they make it using too much red on your project is going to affect the beauty. So I'll sample this same color from here. Now apply this here like so. And, oops, sorry. I'm supposed to create a new layer. Then I'm gonna blend it first. All right. I just want to use that to change the color of the box. Let's see if I move this here. Oh, sorry, it's affected. Okay, yeah, let's just leave it like this. Okay, hit the OK button. Then I'll do the same thing here. I'm supposed to complete this test, but because of time, I won't be able to do that. All right. Then let's see what we have now. Normally, if I happen to do this the way I'm supposed to, I'll make this be on one line. I'll make this information here be on one line. Now, so you will notice that we still have all the information on the project. I didn't take out anything. Everything is still there. All right. So now you see that if I show you the before and after, you see that there's huge difference. So make sure that you avoid, make anything touch your focal point. Allow space around your focal point. When you do this, it will help the beauty of your project. All right. Now I'm trying not to make this review longer. That's why I decided to stop here. But I believe that with this little adjustment that I made on this, you'll notice that there's a huge difference on the before and the after. You right? You know what? Let me just show you guys so you guys will get what I'm trying to say here. So if I drag this and drop here, now you see the before and this is the after. You see there's a huge difference. So if I continue with this, I'm sure you guys are going to like the end result of this. So now let's go straight to our thought design for today. Let's see what our thought design looks like, please. All right, so this is our third design, and it looks as if this is going to be our last design for today. Okay, so now this design is supposed to have been very good, but the designer did not do some things well, and I'm going to share those things with you guys. Now, number one is avoid let me change the color of my brush so you guys will see what I'm trying to say. Now, the number one is, please guys, avoid this. Stop making your elements, your content too close to the edge of your frame. Please, I beg you guys to avoid that. And then another thing again, I want you guys to know is, you see these fonts here, they are called decorative fonts. I know some of you don't know. These are called decorative type. This type is only good for when you are trying to say something related to luxury. Remember, or some of you may not know, I always say this to you guys in this platform, that typography is more of a picture of words. You use type the way you use images. I wish every one of you can, apply for my, access training so I can break down how to use type for you guys. So this type here is not good for this type of project. You only do this when you're trying to portray something, something expensive. All right. And the way the designer played with making the oversee cursive here is nice. All right. So, I think he's trying to let people know that this overseas is part of why, we are, this artwork exists. Then another thing I want you guys to know is when people find it difficult to see the information on your design, the purpose of that design is useless. Don't do design only because you are trying to make it look beautiful. Do design because you are trying to make it beautiful and still make it easy for people to see the information on the design. In fact, let me tell you the things that made the success that makes a design successful. Number one um, is attractive. It gives clear message and is easy to to read the information on it. Those are the most important things that you need to consider when you're working on design projects. When you focus on just one and then two is missing, I'm telling you that design is not successful. If you focus on two and one is missing, that design is not successful. You need to make sure the three exist on your design. So the reason why I'm talking about the visibility of the content is because of the way the designer put the information on the boxes. This information are not visible. So because you notice that this information are much, you don't need to put them in circle. You need to take them out from the circle because the circle itself takes space. So when you notice that the information on your design is too much, avoid using elements that will even take more space on your project. Doing that will not make your design visible. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons why you can't see the information here. The designer's focus is only on making the design beautiful and not is not concerned about making the information clear for the people. So you need to work on that. And then again, we have the same issue here where these information here are too close to each other. You need to avoid that. All right, they are too close. Making information too close is not going to help your project. And this is how you know if the information on your project are going to be easy for people to see. Now, if I zoom out now, you see that I can't even see anything. Okay, let me move it to about this level so you guys so let's say okay, the people reading this are because most time when I'm working on design project, this is what I do. I always zoom out and then check if I can see the text because the way people that use glasses see the information on our design is different from the way the people that don't use glasses see it. So when your design is only for people who doesn't use glasses, trust me, that design is not successful. Your design should be for both the people with glasses and people without glasses. All right. So I am going to stop. Then no, before I stop. All right. Another thing I'm going to say on this is that the information here are not well aligned. Everything is just playing around because look at this. If I move this here now, you see that this information here and this one here is not well aligned. And let's see, I think this one aligned. Yeah, this one aligned, but this one here and this is not aligned, you know. And this would have been better if it's more bigger than this so as to, call more attention. Another thing again is using type with high value on images is not good. All right. The value on this picture, on this text, is too bright for no this image. Now understand the designer is trying to work on non use making use of too many colors, but most of you don't understand that if you are using green here and you're using green here, you can still use another shade of green on your design. It's still going to flow because what you are doing is called there's something called analog in the different type of color harmony. So when you do that, it's called analog color harmony. So you can still use another shade of green. It will still go. It's still the same family, So I think I'm going to stop here on today's design review. I hope you guys learned something. For those of you that still want to rewatch today's design review, I'm going to put this video up on my YouTube channel. And if you don't know my YouTube channel, please, the name is Caesar Graphics. So go to YouTube, search for it, and then you will find this video on my YouTube channel. And I hope you guys learned something. I'll see you guys again same time next week. Peace.